G'day legends, I hope you're all awesome. On today's video, I want to give you a little update on my studio drive board. I did a video last year, sometime in the last half of last year, I forget exactly when. Last year was a pretty long year, where I've just basically taken all my favorite kind of boosts and drives and stuck them on this one NUX Bumblebee pedal board. Things have escalated a bit because here is that same pedal board. Still got some fun stuff on it, but I've got one of the larger NUX pedal boards now as well, and put even more things on there. So these, if I can hold them up and even see myself behind these, are my two studio boards. I'm going to give you a rundown of what I've got on them and why I set them up. Because it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Or in the infinite wisdom shared by Yngwie Malmsteen, more is more. How can less be more? Let's take a look at the big board. There's two tiers on here, and I actually kind of use these tiers as separate mini pedal boards. So the top one is the Crazy Tube Circuits golden ratio compressor into an Electro Harmonix micro synth into an Electro Harmonix POG. This one is all about funky stuff. Basically, the POG and the micro synth can get some of the wildest guitar sounds you've ever heard. Utterly disgusting and gloriously gross, but then the golden ratio works great on its own as a comp, or having it there just kind of pumps up the level and evens everything out so that the micro synth and POG track a little bit better. I'll let you just hear what the golden ratio does, then we'll have some fun with the EHX pedals. So as you can hear, that micro synth into POG is utterly ridiculous. The bottom tier, it's mostly about boosts, but there are a few drives on here that I really like the sound of, say with a Strat and a clean amp that I've included, but kind of this section is for boosting dirty amps, and the Hotcake and the TDY from Past Effects are more about, you know, drives with a clean amp. So I'll let you hear these kind of in reverse order. We'll start with the TDY. It's basically a solid state version of a tube driver. there, the TDY, it sounds kind of like an amp in a box. It's really, really smooth sounding. I love the way it works with the Strat. The Hotcake is pretty nasty in comparison. We will hear the Hotcake set up with the drive low and the level up into a dirty amp in a second. But, you know, Super Overdrive, this one always works really, really well. This is the 40th anniversary edition. We also heard the Anarchy Audio Workhorse in there. That's a Klon style pedal. And the Eris Effects Electric Dragon. One side is a tube screamer, the other is a TC integrated preamp. Think like Fort and Grind style thing in there. So that one makes a great boost into a dirty amp, as does the Klon, one of my favorite boosts into something that's kind of a bit flubby and recto-ish. SD1 works great, Hotcake, and we'll hear the TDY. I haven't actually tried it into a dirty amp, but here is the unboosted tone. This pickup switch is backwards. These are Martin A. Smith humbuckers. If I start with slightly less saturation in the amp, we'll hear each boost now. Nothing quite like Filth on Filth, is there? The workhorse just kind of gives you more of what you've already got in your tone and what you already like. I kind of say that every time I try that pedal, but it's true. The TC integrated preamp side of the Electric Dragon is easily the most kind of brutal out of all of these. It takes anything with a bit of gain and turns it into a chug beast. The SD1, classic for a reason, one of my favorite pedals ever. It's right in the middle of the board because I think kicking that in, especially with that sort of like not insane starting point, takes you to a really, really lovely place on there. The Hotcake has its own flavor when used as a boost, which I like. And then the TDY is just kind of working like a fuzz. Speaking of fuzz, let's take a look at the smaller board I've set up now. The smaller board is divided into two tiers as well. The top tier, it's kind of all about fuzz style stuff. I've got the Jam Pedals Eureka Fuzz, the Crazy Tube Circuits Superconductor set up on the Rangemaster Treble Booster style mode on there. Then there is the Way Huge Swollen Pickle and another Crazy Tube Circuits pedal, the new Motherload, which isn't plugged in at the moment. I'm still working out if I like that or I like the Pickle more for a big muff style thing. But the Motherload can do a rat style sound as well, which is pretty cool. But I'll let you hear the first three, then we'll look at this kind of modulation section that I've got going on down here. The lower tier on this small board has some of my favorite modulation style effects on here. I'm going to count this analog delay on the far left as a modulation effect, even though it's a delay. But the Past Effects Elastic Mattress, besides having one of the best names for a pedal ever, it is doing that vintage 18-volt Electric Mistress thing so well. Crazy Tube Circuits getting some more love as well. This is the Cyclone. It's a 4-mode phaser, so 4 different phase sounds in there. There's a phase 45, phase 90, kind of like a small stone, and then a Univibe style phaser in there. The Analog Man Mini Chorus, there were 3 or 4 chorus pedals I could have put on here that I really, really like. The Jam Pedals Waterfall could have gone on there. The TC SCF, another Past Effects pedal, their kind of Boss CE1, but I thought I'd throw Analog Man some love for this one. That is just such a great sounding pedal. The thing that kind of puts it over the edge for me is that 3-way switch and the blend control, and then another pedal with a fantastic name, the Jam Effects Dele Llama. Get it? It took me so long to get that, and now I get it. Let's have a listen to the flanger, then we'll go phaser, chorus, and then we'll add some different echoes on there. Now that Dele Llama is super crusty sounding, which I like, great for slapback style stuff, but you've also got the ability to have tap tempo on an analog delay and select a dotted eighth note subdivision. So cool on there. I think the elastic mattress on there kind of steals the show when it comes to modulation on there. If you just kind of turn the color, which is feedback on there, then you get some really nice chorusing on there. As you bring it up, it gets more flangey, because I guess that's what a flanger does. So the general idea is just kind of all my favorite noise-making machines. Easily accessible. I've got T-Rex power supplies tucked underneath here. You can see this is one of the original fuel tanks. I'm just using that because it's something that I already own. Everything is dual locked on here, so you can give it a good shake and it is not going to come off. Dual lock is so superior to Velcro, in my opinion, that it's not even worth talking about Velcro on a pedal board. If you've got a Velcro pedal board and it works for you, nothing wrong with that. But since I moved to dual lock, everything has been so much more satisfying to step on. Stuff stays where you put it. And even though I'm not taking these boards to gigs, they're still really nice and sturdy. And again, I like things to stay where I put them. And it's that feeling of, you know, like you kind of step on a pedal like an SD1 or one of these traditional foot switches and the pedal doesn't wiggle underneath. I think that's really, really important for me sitting here, because I normally get a tone happening, and if I want to say audition boost, I'm just going to stomp, and I'm not very careful with it. So I want the pedals to stay where they are. The other cool thing about this as well is that these boards, when probably can't even demonstrate this very well, I'll do my best. Let's do it like this. Improvising should be one of my strong suits, right? When you kind of put them side by side, basically you can put that one there, and yeah, this is great. Great improv, Leon. There's enough room at the back here anyway where the power cable can come in. So I can sit them side by side, and they look pretty cool. Anyway, these are my kind of studio vanity pedal boards. Let me know your thoughts about the tones and the pedals and all those kind of things in the comment section below, and let me know if you've done something like this for your home studio or for your pedal board that you gig with. Do you have a main board and like a, you know, brake in case of emergency? Do you have a main board or a backup board that goes with it that's just basically a scaled down version of it? I would love to know what you've got on there if you want to come and chat about this stuff a little bit more. My Discord server is linked in the video description, along with my Patreon, the music that I make, a bunch of other ways to support the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.